Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica and our continuing series on Atomiswave to Dreamcast ports. And I can't even keep track of how many ports they've gotten at this point in time, but this fall of 2020, Dreamcast is my #1 console by far. And today we're taking a look at Sushi Bar, which is an unreleased Atomiswave game that now runs on Dreamcast. Before we get too far involved, if you do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined, we have a Patreon link down there as well if you want to support the channel. But Sushi Bar is an awesome addition to the Dreamcast, especially considering this was an unreleased game. And as you can see here in the how to play section, it's kind of like Puyo Puyo and Tetris combined, except you have basically an unlimited selection of what pieces you want to pick next. But as far as how the game works, combine 4 or more of any one item, and you're going to clear the screen in that Puyo Puyo way. It's not like Tetris where making a line is going to remove everything, but it kind of has that same Tetris feel of being able to rotate things. But basically at the beginning, you just pick your character here. It doesn't really change anything whatsoever as far as I can tell. It's just kind of the sprite that you're going to be playing as. But once we get into the main game, this is surprisingly simple, yet extremely addicting. And I've always been a fan of Puyo Puyo. I was playing Puyo Puyo Tetris on the Switch a few days ago, and I definitely get addicted to these type of games. And Sushi Bar is no different. You'll see there we have a bigger cabbage rolling by, but the main goal is just combine 4 or more items. And in the beginning stages, that is quite easy to do. It's not very difficult whatsoever. But being a puzzle game and it being an arcade game, this game becomes extremely difficult and challenging as time goes on. But it's never unfair. Your mistakes are your mistakes. The only way you're going to lose a match is by screwing up. But when things start moving so fast, you have to basically be on top of your game the entire time to be able to actually progress. So in that fact, I absolutely love this game, and I have played it before for a couple minutes, but now that it's on the Dreamcast, it's awesome. And you'll see here, if we take that gigantic sprite of the edamame and drop it on something, that's going to clear the entire line. And if we pick the order up button, we're able to say what we want as far as food items are concerned. So you basically have to kind of manage your resources like you would in a game of Tetris or Puyo Puyo. But I love the fact that you can actually select each individual piece, for lack of a better term, that you're getting. You're watching all those different bits of sushi roll on the conveyor belt, and you're able to select 3 at any one time. Now what you want to do is avoid getting empty plates, because those are as good as useless. Those are like in Puyo Puyo, the dead blocks. Avoid them, you're going to do okay. But that's the great part of this game, is that it's easy to learn, extremely difficult to master. I still can't get past stage 3. The first stage, it can sometimes be a little harder than stage 2, which is confusing to me. But after that, stage 2, pretty much a breeze. And then when you get to stage 3, this game just absolutely opens up and goes wild. But the best part about this game is not just that it's fun, and I love using that big shrimp there to clear the entire line. It's that this game never even came out, and that's what's so great about preservation in general, is that this game never released in 2003 like it was supposed to for the Atomiswave, and I won my first match. You win like every other game, just make sure your opponent's line goes over the boundary and you're good. But if it wasn't for preservation, we wouldn't have this game. And if it wasn't for MegaVolt 85 working on these Atomiswave to Dreamcast ports, we wouldn't be playing it on Dreamcast. And is this the most exciting game ever? Well, of course not. It's a puzzle game. I love it. I like these type of games, so for me it's awesome. But this is a revelation. It's not like a lost Resident Evil game or something like that. But even these sort of games absolutely deserve to be preserved, and now anyone can experience them and check them out and play them for themselves, versus this being in the hands of just a collector who doesn't share anything. And that's what I love about this. Like I said, it's close to Puyo Puyo, it's close to Tetris, but it also has a little bit of like a Twinkle Star Sprites vibe to me. Granted, it's not a shmup feeling game whatsoever, but that head-to-head battle mode and how things just kind of keep flying around reminds me slightly of Twinkle Star Sprites. But if you've never played a game like this before, you definitely owe it to yourself to check it out. This is probably the #1 game for the Atomiswave to Dreamcast port so far that I'm going to continue to spend time with, because I want to see the end of this game and I want to get better at it. A lot of the other games, the fighting games, even the driving games, they're good for an hour or 2 here or there, and some of the fighting games I played a bunch before, but this is one that I really don't have a ton of time into, and because I particularly love this type of genre, it's one that I want to play a lot more. What I'm going to let you do now is just watch the next match, because, you know, the sound effects, the music, they're fun, they're nothing special, but it's catchy. I'll be back in about a minute. We'll close out Sushi Bar. So stage 2, like I said, it seems weirdly easier than stage 1, but maybe that's just because my brain is more in focus. But now as we get to stage 3, things definitely get a lot harder, a lot quicker, because 1, we're dealing with 4 different types of sushi versus 3. And now we're going to start seeing some different modifiers come up on the conveyor belt that you're really going to have to manage, because you can totally get yourself into a very big pickle very quickly. You'll see we start out playing pretty well, but all of a sudden there's a lot more empty plates and we have to wait around for the sushi bites that we need. And time management is definitely something you want to have to deal with in this game, because sometimes picking an empty plate isn't the worst thing. But we get the R, and now all of a sudden the conveyor belt changes direction, so you can, if you need to, get some of that sushi coming back towards you. And like I said, this is a game that is deceptively simple that becomes extremely difficult. And avoid the S. I grab it, and now everything is just flying by, and I'm very quickly going to lose this match. And that's what I love so much about this game. Not just that it's been ported to the Dreamcast, not that it's just another unreleased arcade game that has been preserved and is available to the public. I love it because I really want to get better at it, and I'm struggling with stage 3. You'll see I took that loss very quickly. But this is the type of game that makes me want to keep playing it over and over again so that I do get better. It's the type of game that I want to put on some sort of emulation device, so when I'm flying or traveling after the pandemic's over, of course, I can just keep playing this, getting matches in and getting better and better at it. But short of that, that is Sushi Bar. It's an awesome mix of kind of Tetris, Puyo Puyo, Twinkle Star Sprites. It's not been released before for Dreamcast, so that's awesome as well. But it's just a really great puzzle game that's going to test every one of your reflexes and your kind of time management and spatial awareness. And it's going to drive you nuts, because once you start losing, you just want to keep playing over and over again, even if your opponent on stage 3 is going to totally wipe the floor with you. But if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to hear if you've played this game before, what you guys think. We will be back with another video in the Atomiswave to Dreamcast series. I schedule them randomly, so I'm not quite sure when it's going to be. But like I said, questions, comments, leave them below. I love chatting with you guys. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys next time. At last again. Bye-bye.